Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the shearing stresses. We have already discussed about the bending moment and shear force diagram. We have also talked about the bending stresses and the formula to calculate the bending stresses. We know when a beam is subjected to the transverse loads, not only the bending stresses will develop, along with them there will be shear stresses. While deriving the formulas for bending stresses, we assume that there are no shear stresses. But here we are going to discuss today about the distribution of the shearing stress in different sections. So let's start with the rectangular beam which is shown over here, and you can see part of the beam, an element which is of length dx, and on the left side of this element at section AB there is a bending moment of magnitude m being applied. On the other side of this element there will be bending moment magnitude of m plus dm that is being acted upon. So because of this there will be bending stresses obviously, and there will be shear force, and we are going to represent the shear force as F. We have already known about that, as there will be variation or change in the bending moment, and rate of change of bending moment along the length is basically the shear force. So that F is available here, and I is representing the moment of inertia as before. Now we know from our bending stress relation that m by I is equal to sigma by y. So that gives you sigma equal to m by I into y. So this is the amount of stress value that you have calculated for the magnitude of bending moment m which is acted upon the section AB. Now as the bending moment changes from m to m plus dm, so the stress value will change from sigma to sigma plus d sigma, and its magnitude will be given by m plus dm divided by I into y. Because of the stresses, the force that will be acting at AB on the elementary area delta A. So this is another view, or this is the cross section of at the point AB. So you can see here the A and B, and then the A dash and B dash, the point which are behind it, and B is the width of the beam. So we are considering a small strip here which is having the area of delta A, and it is situated at a distance of y from the neutral axis. So this is your neutral axis, here it is the neutral axis here, okay. So it is situated at a distance y from the neutral axis. So at this elementary strip which we are able to see on the cross section, the amount of force that will be developed will be given by the value of stress multiplied by the area of that strip, so sigma into delta A. So as sigma is equal to m by I into y, so this will be m by I into y dot delta A. Similarly, you can calculate the force acting across the CD on elementary area delta A. So when you talk about the cross section at this distance CD, at the point CD. So here you can view, in this view you can see that this is delta A here now. So the value of stresses are sigma plus d sigma here multiplied by area delta A. So that gives you m plus dm by I into y dot delta A. So these are the value of forces which are acting on this strip that you have considered, which is at a distance y at section AB and section CD respectively. Now because these values are different, so there will be unbalanced force that will be acting on this strip, which you can calculate by simply subtracting these two values from one another. So that finally gives you the unbalanced force on the strip as dm by I dot y dot delta A. So this is the amount of force which is acting on this stripped area here. Now the total unbalanced force, if you want to calculate, you need to basically do the integration from value of the y from 0 to height of this beam, that is d by 2. So you integrate it from 0 to d by 2, the same expression dm by I dot delta I dot y dot dy, okay. So you can bring out the dm by I outside this integration, and what is left with us is basically dm by I integration from 0 to d by 2 delta a dot y dot dy. Okay, so this is the expression that is left inside the integral, and we are familiar with this expression. This is the basically moment of the area. Okay, so you can represent it as a bar y. So this is the moment of all those small elementary strips about the neutral axis, and from 0 to d by 2. So you can represent it by a bar y. So this is the area of the A is basically here the area of the beam above the neutral axis, and bar y is the distance between the CG of that area and the neutral axis. Okay. Now we can calculate the intensity of the shear stress by dividing this force upon the area with the area on which the shear stress is acting. So the value of the force here is dm by I a into bar y, and the area of the strip, if you look here, the area of the strip will be your dx into b. Okay, so you see the dx is the the length, and the b is the width. So dx into b will be the value of the area on which this unbalanced force is acting. So you divide the area from it, and finally you will get the expression as dm by dx into a bar y divided by IB. I hope you can remember that we have already obtained the relation between the bending moment and shear force, which states that dm by dx is equal to the value of shear force. So we replace by dm by dx in this expression by capital F, which is shear force value. So this gives us the intensity of the shear stress, and the formula for it will be F divided by IB into a bar y, where I is the moment of inertia of the beam, B is the width of the beam, A already I have defined the area of the beam over the neutral axis, and bar y will be the distance between the CG of the area and the neutral axis. So using this expression we can find the value of the intensity of shear stress at different points along the cross section. Okay. Now using this formula, let's calculate the distribution of the shear stress in some common sections of the beam that we encounter. Let's start with the rectangular beam. So here you see a rectangular beam of height d and the width b. Okay, this is the cross section area which is shown to you, and you want to find the distribution of the shear stress along the cross section. So how it is varying along the height of the beam. So that's what you want to find out. And let's take a small elementary strip here which is distributed at a distance y from the neutral axis. So our formula is Q is equal to F by I IB into a bar y. So what will be the area of this strip? That is quite easy. Its width is b, and what is the height of this? The height will be, this is d by 2 minus y. So d by 2 minus y will come here. So that will be the area of this cross section, the small strip that we have taken. So b into d by 2 minus y will be the area of this elementary strip. Now what will be the bar y for this strip? So the bar y is the distance of the CG of this strip from the neutral axis. So where will be this lying? Where will be the CG of this strip will be lying? It will be exactly at the middle of this. So the distance from the neutral axis will be this much. So you know this distance is y. So you have y plus the half of the thickness of this strip. So the thickness of the strip is d by 2 minus y. So that's why half of that will be half of d by 2 minus y. So that gives you the distance of the CG of the strip from the neutral axis. So we substitute the values here, and if we simplify it, you are going to get the value as f by 2i into d square by 4 minus y square. So with the change in the value of y from 0 to d by 2, you can plot the value of shear stress along the cross section of the beam. And you see, because of it is dependent upon the quadratic power of the y, So it gives a parabolic variation along the thickness. You can substitute for I equal to BD cube by 12, because you know for a rectangular cross section we know the moment of inertia will be BD cube by 12. So we can substitute it here, and we can evaluate or calculate the value of the shear force intensity at y equal to plus minus d by 2. So when you substitute y is equal to plus minus d by 2, your intensity will be 0. So at extreme ends the values are 0, and it will be maximum when y will be equal to 0. So when you substitute y equal to 0, that means at the center of the beam you will get the maximum value of shear force intensity, which will be given by F divided by BD cube by 6 into d square by 4. So that is nothing but the 3 by 2 times of F by BD. So this F by BD, the value of shear force divided by the cross section area of the beam, can be taken as the average value or mean value of the shear force intensity. So that's why you can say that the maximum shear stress intensity, which will occur exactly at the middle of the beam, will be roughly 1.5 times of the mean value of the stresses. What is the mean value of stress? The shear force value divided by the cross section area of the beam, that is B into D. So it will be 1.5 times of that. Okay. Now let's look at some other section. So let's talk about the shear stress distribution in the circular section. So what you see here is a circular beam. This is the cross section area which is shown to you, and again we are considering a small strip which is situated at a distance y from the neutral axis. Neutral axis will obviously lie at the center of the beam. So we are considering a small elementary strip whose width is the thickness is delta y, and the width of this elementary strip, which is situated at a distance of small y from the neutral axis, is given by the small b. So small b is nothing but the width of the section of the height at y. Okay. So we know that this b value of the b will be, you can calculate it if you take the radius of this cross section as r. So from the center to this distance, center to this value, this is r. So I have drawn this diagram separately here. So from center to this extreme end of this elementary strip, the value is radius of is small r, and this is the height y, and as this is b by 2, so you get this 90-degree triangle. So you can say that r square is equal to y square plus b by 2 whole square, which will give you the value of b as b is equal to 2 times of under root of r square minus y square by applying the Pythagoras theorem. Now in order to calculate the shear force intensity, we know the formula is Q is equal to F by IB into A bar Y. We need to calculate the A bar Y for this section. So A bar Y is the moment of the shaded area about the neutral axis. Okay. So we are considering a small strip of thickness delta y at the height y. So the area of the strip delta I of this, I am talking about this small strip here which you seeing here. So the area of this strip will be the width of the strip multiplied by the height of the strip, that is b into delta y. So the moment of this elementary area about the neutral axis will be delta A into y, so that will be b delta y dot y. So moment of the complete shaded area will be, or A bar y above the neutral axis will be given by will be obtained by taking the integration of this term by delta y from y is equal to y to y is equal to r. So from this position to the extreme end y is equal to r, you can get this value of A bar y for the shaded area, complete shaded area. Now because there is a relationship between b and y, so we need to do a little bit of mathematical exercise here. As we know that b is equal to 2 times of under root of r square minus y square, you can square it up from both sides. This will give you this expression, and if you take the differentiation on both the side, it will give you the relationship between b and y as shown here. So you will get 2b db equal to minus 8y dot dy, so which will give you y dy as value of minus 1 by 4 b db. So here y dy, you can substitute it with the expression minus 1 by 4 times of b into db. Not only we have to substitute this here, we need to also change the limits, because here the limits are going from y to r, and we have the integral with respect to b here now db. So let's change the limit. So we know that at y is equal to y, okay, what I am saying that at y value of y is equal to y, this is the value here, the width value is small b, and when y is equal to small r, that means this one, the width will be 0. So this is what I have written here. So at y is equal to y, b will be equal to b, at y is equal to r, b will be equal to 0. So when you change these limits here in this expression, so you get the limits from y is equal to, at y is equal to y you substitute y is equal to b, and y is equal to r you substitute y equal to 0, and you substitute the expression for y dy here also in this integral, and finally when you integrate it, it will give you the value of a bar y as b cube by 12. So you substitute this into this shear force intensity expression. So this shear stress intensity expression, pardon me. So that will be F by IB into B cube by 12. Finally, this will give you the value of Q as F by 3I into R square minus Y square. Again, you can see there is a quadratic variation here. So it shows a parabolic variation with respect to along the thickness of the beam, and you can calculate its value. So by substituting at y equal to r, that means at the extreme end, at the top of the beam or at the bottom of the beam, the value of Q will be 0. There will be 0 shear force intensity, and when you at the middle of the beam at y equal to 0, it will be giving you the maximum value. So you substitute y equal to 0 in this expression, you will get F by 3I into R square. Instead of R, let's use the diameter of the beam, that is d by 2. So if you substitute it here, it will give you this expression. And we know for the circular beam, I's value of moment of inertia is pi d4 by 64. So you can express this term here as 4 by 3 times of F divided by pi d square by 4. What is the F? F is the shear force, pi d square 4 is the cross section area of the beam. So this gives you the average value of the shear force stress intensity at the of the beam. So Q average will be F by pi d square by 4. So what we see here is the maximum value of the shear stress that occur is 4 by 3 times of Q average. You must have remembered in the case of a rectangular section, the maximum value that occur at the middle of the beam is 3 by 2 times of the Q average, that was 1.5 times. Here it is 4 by 3 times of the average value or the mean stress value. So now let's go ahead and do the calculation for somewhat more complex section for the distribution of shear stress. Now here we have a I section of the beam. So this I section has got two portions, one is the flange portion and another is the web portion. So flange portion is this top portion here, okay, so this is your flange portion, and here this is your web portion. So we need to calculate the shear stress for the entire cross section. We are going to do it in a two part. Let's start with the first with the flange part. For the flange part, we can say that when y is greater than d by 2. So d by 2 is the height of this flange section here, from where the flange section starts. So the value of y is when more than d by 2. So let's take a strip here in the flange, which is shown here by the H lines here. So this is the strip I am talking about, which is situated at a distance y from the neutral axis. So we need to calculate the a bar y first for this particular portion in order to calculate the shear force intensity, shear stress intensity, because the formula for the shear stress intensity is F by IB into a bar y. So what will be the area of this strip? Let's first talk about that. So the area of the strip will be the width of the strip, that is B. So that is the B here, and the height of this strip. So what is the height of the strip? You see this is capital D. So that capital D by 2 is this distance, okay, sorry, this distance here. So this is your capital D by 2, this distance is your capital D by 2, and capital D by 2 minus y will give you the height of this strip. So that's what is here written over here. So area will be of the strip will be equal to B, width of the strip, multiplied by the height of the strip, that is d by 2 minus y. Now the bar y, that means the distance of the CG of this strip from the neutral axis, will be calculated by adding the half of the thickness of the strip with the value of y. So that is here y plus half of d by 2 minus y. So finally, when you substitute it into the formula, you will get this expression as shown here, and which can be converted easily into f by 2y into d square by 4 minus y square. And when you substitute the maximum value of the y, which is possible for this section, that is y equal to plus minus d by 2, that means exactly at the top and bottom of the beam. So you will get the value of q as 0 from this formula. And when you substitute y is equal to plus minus d by 2, so up to the distance up to which this formula is valid, that means exactly at the bottom of the web portion. So that gives you the value of q as f by 8i into d square minus d square. So when you plot this distribution, so I am just plotted it for this small section. You see here it starts like this. Okay, the 0 here, and it goes a parabolic variation up to this point. And what is the value of this exactly at the bottom of the web? That will be given by f by 8i into d square minus d square. Now let's talk about the portion which is lower than the web, that is the lower than the flange portion, that is the web portion. So now in this web portion, I have shown this as a shaded area. Now in order to calculate it for this portion, we need to add up the a bar y for the flange portion and for the remaining web portion. So that means first you need to calculate the a bar y for this section, okay, and then you need to add it into this part. Okay, let me use the different colors for you. So we need to calculate the a bar y for this portion, okay, and then you need to add it here in this area. Okay, so a bar y for the remaining area of the web. So the value of the a bar y for the flange, let's first calculate that. So that is the area of the this upper portion, that's what we are talking about right now. So this is it here. So that is b into d by 2 minus small d by 2. The height of this flange is capital D by 2 minus small d by 2. The width is b, so the area will be b into d by 2 minus d by 2. And the distance of its CG from the neutral axis will be given by adding the value of half of this thickness of the flange to the d by 2. So d by 2 plus half of d by 2 in minus d by 2. Okay, so this gives us the value of a bar y for this particular portion as b by 8 into d square minus d square. Now the value of the a bar y for the web above the neutral axis, that means we are talking about now this area. So that will be, first you need to calculate the area of this. So the width of this area, this portion is b, and the height of this will be d by 2 minus small y. So that will be d into d by 2 minus y, and this distance from the CG will be half of the height of this, and we are going to add it to the y. So that gives you the value of a bar y for the web above the neutral axis. So that comes out to be b into d square by 4 minus v square. Now the total a bar y will be obtained by adding these two expressions, that means this expression and the another expression. So you add these both here and you get the complete shear stress distribution for the entire cross section here. So that will be from q will be equal to f by ib into b by 8 d square minus d square plus b by 2 into d square by 4 minus y square. Now we can see from this expression, as the y decreases, the q is going to increase because it is coming with a negative sign. So at y equal to 0, that means exactly at the center of the beam, it is going to be maximum. So q max value will be given by substituting y equal to 0. This is given by this expression, and this expression is valid up to the maximum portion at y equal to plus minus d by 2. So when you substitute y equal to d by 2, you will calculate its value as f by 8i into b by b into d square minus d square. You can plot now for the entire cross section. So this is the value of q here at this point, and this q max value is belonging to this point, and this for another portion which is of only for the flange part, we have already obtained the value of the distribution here, which was given in the here in this expression. So this is the value we have obtained in the previous page. So in this way we see this is the way how the shear stress is going to distribute along the I section beam. Okay,